I just have the itching, burning desire to go ahead and run that 372, the Halzfforma clone. Honestly, I've never owned the larger Huskies. I've always had a little bit smaller ones that were light and nimble, and I never got the bigger ones. I always had steel. So the 460 was actually the first bigger Husky that I had. And you know my dilemma with that, but I brought it out because I think I got it fixed. So we'll run that a little bit. The biggest thing is I'm trying to test out is this. It's the G372 XP from Halzfforma. Okay. I'm too much of a tightwad to spend the money, and I frankly can't afford to buy all these saws if I buy them all in a name brand, so that's just a simple fact. And I've heard a lot of good reviews on the Halzfformas. Now, the one thing I did notice about the Halzfformas, if you go on their website, they have a lot of clone saws in a large variety of sizes, from steel clones to Halzfforma clones, whereas the Farmmacs pretty much have the 380, the 660, and then they have the Halzfforma, which I have coming, it's the clone, Halzfforma 372 XP clone in the Farmmac. So if you go to Neotech, which is Farmmac is Neotech owns Farmmac. So both of these saws are made in Asia. Now, whether they are in the same factory or not, there's definitely a big difference between the Halzfforma saws and the Farmmac. If it's just cosmetics, I don't really know. That's why I wanted to get them and try. And that's why I got the clone in the Farmmac of this same saw, because I wanted to compare the two of them. This one comes with a full wrap bar, which there is some issues with it, and you probably see it on other channels. It's hard to get to the adjustment screw because of the way this bar is designed, and you have to have the shorter scrunch. I can't use my new wrench on that. So I'm going to look at the Farmmac. I would assume everything's set up the same. I'll probably not keep the full wrap. I'll probably just go get an OEM regular wrap, or I could just cut it and sand that off there and keep it, be the same thing. But I might want this at some point, so I'll just take it off and put a regular handle on it. My thoughts was too possibly to put that handle on the Farmmac, because all the Farmmacs that I have the full wrap. So it kind of would, if I put it on that, then I would know any of the Farmmacs I grab will have the full wrap bars if that's what I feel I need. So I haven't decided yet. I guess I'll have to make my mind up on that when it comes in. So today I'm out at my mystery log pile. I'll try to show you. When I cleared the range here a couple years ago, a lot of this is gum, some cherry, and some of this is actually black gum. And the black gum is actually really easy to mill and has a lot less issues. It's actually a lot more stable than the red gum. I did some siding out of it, and I didn't have any problem. And it didn't act anything like the red gum. It was a lot more stable. I even built some benches out of it, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's a shame that the gum acts so bad, because red gum is beautiful looking. I made siding out of it, and then we stained it, or we grate it using vinegar and steel wool. But it actually is very pretty stuff. If you could get it to be stable, it would actually make neat stuff, which with the preservation solutions, I think today I'm going to cut some of this stuff up, and I'm going to treat it with the penacryl, and I want to see, because it actually is very pretty wood. I just want to see if it will actually stabilize it to where it works, you know, decent. So let me get my chaps on. We'll fire this up. We'll take some cuts, and we'll see how it runs, because I'm excited. I've been wanting to run it. It's been sitting in the shed for probably 2 weeks. So I'm ready to get on it. And hopefully the mic system will stay working. I'll have to check the film every once in a while to make sure it's still working. We'll see. Got the chaps on. This is more or less just goofing off, running the saw, seeing how it's running. Like I said, some of this is actually, there's some maple in here somewhere. Some of this should be really spalty because it's been down for several years. Some of it may just be rotten, who knows. So let's fire this up. It does have a compression brake, which on the 70cc saws is nice. If they start good, then it's not any big deal. It's your standard pull out for your choke. Switches right here on and off. Pretty standard stuff. It doesn't seem to have a trigger hold for keeping it opened up. So, you know, honestly, I don't even know if the Halzfforma has one or not. As I said, this is my first rodeo with the larger Halzfforma or Halzfforma clone. So it does seem to start pretty easy, which is brand new. I want to take a couple bites out of this right here. This log and see. I want to take a few bites out of this. I think this is the black gum. I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. Sometimes your eyes can be deceiving to you. Definitely it's got good power. We'll see how it starts up here again. Let me grab my cant hook out of here. I brought out with me. You can definitely smell that muffler burning off. This is the cherry here. And actually, it's probably a millable log right here once I get this piece off. Well, no, it looks like it's checked. It's got a pretty good check in it here. This is that part of that cherry tree that fell over. It fell over a while back, and I think it split it, and I think that's why I just set it over here to see, because it was checked. There's another piece there, but it's good firewood. I actually want to get this log right off here, this one right up here, where I can cut it. Well, I'm not sure how old it is, how long it's been down. I gotta get over far enough on it. I don't want to get my leg in between that and the other one and have it come over and get my leg trapped in there. That looks like it's pretty good. That's actually, if it wasn't a gum or I needed some siding, it actually would be a pretty straight log, probably straight grain, but I don't want to. I got so many logs up there, y'all haven't seen me mill in a while, but man, we got a collection of logs and I got a whole bunch to go out and get from other people, so there'll be more mill videos here soon. Let's cut this up a little bit more. I'll get you guys situated. I just want to run this saw a little bit and see how it acts. I'll just make that into firewood. Good old cherry tree, some good firewood, I'll tell you that. Definitely like it. That's not bad. Got plenty of pep, I know that. I like it better than I like the steel clone, the 380, the 70cc saw. I keep getting you guys in a bad spot here. You can't see me. I end up blocking it. Let me get you a corner around here a little better. See what happens. Yeah, it's old red gum. It'll be all right for cutting. I definitely like the feel and the power of that over the steel 380. Now, the steel 380, I guess, is an older version of the 70cc saw, so it doesn't have a trying to remember, that one doesn't have a compression brake for starting it, and that one needs it. That one, it's a 038 380 clone from Farmmac, and that one definitely will pull your arm if you're trying to start it. So this is definitely the Halzfforma version of this saw, of a clone, or definitely a lot more, I'd say, user friendly. It's definitely more comfortable, it's better balanced. It feels like it's got more torque than the 380. I am considering also getting, I don't really want to get the 500i, because I could get one new at a discount from a friend of mine. He owns a store, especially because he wants me to try it out and give him a little advertising for the 500. But I think I'm going to get the 400, because I have the 660 and stuff, and really the amount of time I would need a 500, especially with all these, would be rare. So this is the red gum. It's a little spalty. I mean, I don't know how well it would finish. I'm going to take some of them back and put the pentacryl on them just as a test to see how it does, because they're definitely pretty. especially now that some of this is getting spalty. I got a ton of it. Oh my goodness, so I got a ton of it. Y'all need some mushrooms? There's some mushrooms for you if you want some mushrooms. Plenty of those. I don't know if those are the good ones or not. I'm not a mushroom expert. You can definitely smell the exhaust. This one does have, it does have the, well, I'm not going to say larger port. It's about a 1/2 inch port. It's got 2 ports here. I think if I'm correct, the version that I'm getting, which is supposed to be the Pro model, like this one, with the Warbro carburetor and the upgrades, I think the Farmmac one has the bigger port here. It'll be interesting to see, and if I like that one better, and it seems like it makes a difference, I can just order one, you know, for this. I'm actually probably going to go ahead and get a, depending on which one I like more, I got a I'm saving up. Hopefully I'll get enough YouTube revenue. I want to get the Halzfforma 32-inch bar and chain. It's like 105 drive lengths. Because you see me cutting, I mean, I can still reach, but I'm bending a little bit. A 32 would be super nice. I do have a 32 coming that will fit on the 380 or Farmmac or the 660 Farmmac. So Forester.com, they sell chain, blade, safety equipment, all kinds of stuff. I'll put a link in there. I've got a couple Forester bars that are smaller I haven't used yet. They had a deal. They had a lot of sales. So whenever they have a sale, if I think it'll fit, I kind of get it ahead of time. So I have the chain and bar. It's a size I don't have. So I want to get the 32 inch bar for these two, or at least one of these. Whichever one I seem to favor the most, which I would assume they're almost the same. Probably not the one with the full wrap. I won't put the 32 on. I'll probably put it on the Farmmac, or take and switch the wraps over. I just don't know. I don't know if there's a whole lot of difference, and that's part of the testing now, and you'll find out. So if you're interested in getting up into the 70cc class, 72 cc's, which is a great size saw. It's definitely got plenty of power. You can kind of look at the differences. I already know with this full wrap, there's the issue with the back cover nut, and then adjusting the chain tensioner. But you know, I've seen some people that they took and made a dent in the wrap over here. They took and cut this back, and they kind of dented it in right there so that their scrunch will fit on it. I'm not going to go through all that. I'd rather just pay the $24 that you can pay on Amazon and get another wrap, a standard wrap, and then have this in case I ever want it. It makes no sense to damage this one. So I've done talked enough. Let me cut some more, and I'm going to get the Husky out, and we'll see how that cuts too. I think I have the issue resolved. Definitely cutting good. Up there. Can't be out of gas that fast. I hope it's not out of gas that fast, because I didn't cut much, and I just filled it up. That'd be discerning. It's out of gas. Holy cow. Boy, that's ate some gas. I mean, I did rev it up a little bit and play with it, did that short, but holy cow. That thing eats some gas. I should have brought some more gas with me. Let's get the 460 out and just give it a try. Because I'm just curious. Boy, that might be a thing too with these saws is gas. Well, I mean, if it's OEM, supposedly OEM, and what I do, I grab the steel. Look at that. Brain fart. Orange case. I grabbed the steel. So, well, I'm not far from the house, and this is a camera that I could turn on and off. So let me go get, let's just go get the 380, because that's the steel, that's the 70 horse cc saw. I got to get gas anyways, so we'll just go grab it. I'll grab the correct Husqvarna case. I got the steel case, so you know how it goes. It's early morning, it's Sunday. I'm just trying to have a little fun and bring you guys along the way. So let me go grab it. House is right. So I got fuel. I did remember to bring the Husky, and I brought the Farmmac 380, because the 380 is 71 cc or something like that. So that would be a good comparison, the steel version of a 70 cc series saw. That's a lot to say. So anyways, I've got the 380 here. Let me check the fuel in it really quick. I try to be really good about when I'm done with a saw, sharpening it and making sure it's full of fuel before I put it away. But I have been known, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, I have been known to be in a hurry when I'm done at the end of the day. And I don't always do what I tell myself I should always do. So we'll fill this up because it's low. I'm going out a little bit later. A gentleman's got a bunch of big logs that washed up on the beach, and he wants me to have them. So some of them I think is a white oak, and then there's some, I think, a couple cherries, and he's got a bunch in the wood. So that will be nice. Those are fun, to me, those are fun woods. They had a lot of character. It looked like the white oak wasn't in the water very long. Storm damage, you know. But I'm blessed that people are kind enough to give me stuff like that, because I don't like cutting white oaks down and stuff like that unnecessarily around here. We're pretty picky about that. We pretty much take what falls over, unless we have a specific project, and the only specific project that I've ever cut trees down has just been poplar trees. So the one thing I will tell you, I already replaced the fuel cap, is the fuel caps that come on them, these Farmmacs, it's like a real thin, cheap rubber. And if you over tighten it or even a little bit to keep it from leaking, the gasket will just break. First thing you do, go get you an OEM gas and oil cover. Simple, right off the bat. I wish it did, because it will kick you. I got it on. Like I said, helps if I put the choke on. It definitely will kick. So if you have an issue with it doing that, or like me with my shoulder, I got to be careful. hope I didn't turn the camera the wrong way or too far. It's always fun. You have the front screen on, and sometimes you make goofies and don't get the shot right. I mean, these will be interesting cookies. Like I said, they're gum. This has been sitting. You see the bark's just falling right off of it. I don't know. I'm gonna mess with them a little bit. You saw how hard this was to get started. It's, you know, steel, you got to pump it a little more or crank on a little bit more. It doesn't have as easy a start. So as far as power goes, steel tends to wind up a little bit more. They tend to open up a little bit more. I'd almost have to have both of them sitting right here. Cut with one with the other ones running, and then cut with that one to tell. Yeah, let me get some fuel in that one again. I want to run that one again real quick, and then run that one, and then pick this one up and run that one, just so I can feel. I'll leave the video going, but just so I can kind of feel running one after another how I like it or don't like it, or whichever. So I want these to be as informative as possible for me and you. I'm back. All right, so I think the easiest way, I got both of them. Well, this one I already had running. So I am curious to see if that's really going through that gas that fast. I'm looking at the gas tanks, and I'm definitely thinking the gas tank is larger on the 380 than it is on that saw. It sure seemed like that would be going through a lot of gas for this one. So let me go ahead. I'm going to start the Halzfforma Halzfforma clone up and run it, so you'll get to see me start it, how easy it is. And keep in mind, I got a bum shoulder, so any kickback or jerks back is painful to me, and I want to avoid it. So let's start this one. Simple switch there. Shouldn't have to choke it. I had it running to make sure the fuel was in it. Don't really got to use the compression brake, but I will. And look at that. I like it. Definitely a lot easier to start. Sometimes I cut this stuff also up like this in the cookies if I don't use it. When it checks and it dries out, I can just cut them in half and throw them in a wood stove. So they tend to dry out a little faster. I start this one all the way down the choke. Up one. You actually have to do it manually. Definitely the steel having to pull more, not starting as easy, definitely is a bummer. Because I just buried this one. I just buried this poor guy in there. So there's the comparison. I'm not going to put a time or anything on it. I'll try to put them side by side. I definitely 100% like how the Halzfforma clone starts up, which is probably the same because I've seen Buck and Billy Ray, he starts his all the time, 1 or 2 poles, especially when it's warm, no problem. This was still warm, still took me several pulls. This one, when you put the choke on, even if you hit the trigger, you have to flip it, the choke up manually. It doesn't come up like a regular steel. You know, when you hit it, you have it locked down, you can hit the trigger. Little differences in the clone. You could probably get a whole trigger assembly if it really bothered you. Or it may be this model, that was the way it was in steel. I don't know, I don't own a regular steel. So, while I don't like the wrap 100% on this one, it is comfortable to hold and it is comfortable to operate. You know, I definitely, you know, I like this. It's got a full, you got this full range right here, okay? Whereas on this one, when you flip it over, it is a little awkward because right here, the saw is wanting to roll that way. In order to get your hand here, it starts to turn. On that one, you can have your hand further over on it, back in here. And I don't have as good a leverage. Actually, I'm leaning on my leg because I don't have as good a leverage. So that, you know, if I had all the knowledge at first and I had to pick between the two of them, say I was getting them and I had all this knowledge, 100% would be the Husqvarna clone over the steel clone 380. 100%, hands down. Does it have plenty of power? Yeah, this thing cuts great. I cut a bunch of big trees down already. I've had this one for a while. Definitely has the power, definitely runs good, and definitely can perform. But those few little quirks, if you're starting it a lot, having to climb around, restarting it, that one definitely is going to be uncomfortable to run and start like that. So there you go. I mean, I just try to keep the videos as straightforward as can be. We'll just let them all fall around. There you go. Got to have my picture. Got to have your opening picture. So let's get that opening picture right there. There we go. All right. While you guys were gone, I don't like to give up. I like to try to figure out what's going on. I pulled a little timing out of it. Brought the RPMs up a little bit on the high end. I think I just get used to these bigger saws have more power. This has got a 24-inch bar on it. I think if I go down to a 20-inch bar, unless I just want to use this for branch cutting and stuff like that. That's a lot better. So apparently what was happening was with that other piece leaking, you know, I'm trying to adjust the saw to run with that decompression leaking. So apparently I got everything a little off. So once I fix that problem, that's why I wanted to bring it out and kind of mess with it. I was able to get it tuned to where it was running. So it had too much timing, not enough high, the low's fine. So now that I got that straight, you know, it's not a 72cc saw. It's a big difference between a 60cc or 59cc saw. So it's at least now powering through it and not spitting and popping and stuff like that. So it's just, it is what it is. It's just not going to be as powerful. It's just tough when you get used to using bigger saws and then you go down to that and you're like, ah, what's going on?